Welcome to this edition of the KIX Conversations. My name is Rosa María Moncada, and I work as a country support officer for the KIX project. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you and to have this space of exchange ideas and engage in discussions about education in Latin America and the Caribbean. We thank everyone for following us through our YouTube channel and for the Kick Slack Facebook page also. We invite you to the fan page, to our channel, and to share this content with everyone. Before we begin, I would like to tell you a bit about KIX. KIX stands for Knowledge, Innovation, and Exchange Initiative. It's promoted by the Global Partnership in Education and the International Development Research Center. To achieve its goals, KIX relies on regional hubs around the world where educational leaders share information, knowledge, innovation, and experiences. Among these hubs, SUMA, along with the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, leads the Latin American and the Caribbean hub. The KIX brings together 10 countries: Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and in Central America we have Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. On this occasion, it is a pleasure to introduce Tonnica Dey, the Chief Planning Officer, and Dahvis Caldiera, the Senior Statistician, both from the Ministry of Education in Guyana. Welcome, Tonnica and Dahvis. Thank you for accepting our invitation today. We are so grateful to have this opportunity to talk with you, uh, your trajectory, your professional trajectory, your views, and also to go deep into the experiences of implementing the education management system, the EMIS, in Guyana.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rosa, for this opportunity, of course, to join in on a conversation on EMIS in our context in Guyana.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rosa. Thank you for having me.
Thank you both. And to provide some context to our audience, we would like to tell you that in July, we held a webinar in education management systems for social justice. And that was part of the cycle of mobilization and the use of evidence in education. So today, I would like to introduce our guest, Tonnica Dey. She holds a degree in economics with a master's in business administration. Her expertise lies in the intersection of finance and education. She has dedicated nearly a decade refining her knowledge on the expenditure planning, management analyst, and in the Ministry of Education, now she holds the position of the chief planner. Dahvis Caldiera. She holds a degree in economics and is currently pursuing a master's degree in data science in International University of Applied Sciences in Germany. Dahvis is a senior statistician in the Ministry of Education, and she has worked there for almost 8 years. Dahvis led the implementation of the Educational Management Information System, the EMIS. This initiative involved meticulous planning, the execution of training programs for principals, and also the development of manuals to have a smooth transition. To begin this conversation, we would like to understand what's the origin of the project. We know there have been efforts in the region to implement the EMIS for almost 2 decades. Could you share with us a historical context surrounding the launch of your national information system back in October 2023? Tonnica, tell us a little bit about this. What were the main challenges or the initial motivations that led the development of the EMIS in Guyana?
Thank you, Rosa. Thank you so much for that question. As we know, information is that is key in the education system to inform our decisions. And like you mentioned, it's been a while that we're trying to upgrade that data system that we have here. And I would say one of the first challenges that led to us rolling out this new EMIS system would first be the lack of the integration of our data sets from the various departments in our education sector at the level of administration to begin with, and also the fact that we had no educational institution for our MIS system that would ease the data collection burden. It was all done manually. We hadn't a system that would allow that real-time data and the support to the institution's day-to-day management. There was also insufficient utilization of the data because of the lack of a data culture in our education system here in Guyana, and lack of the capacity to actually utilize the data, lack of user-friendly data for information. Also, inadequate technological infrastructure to actually have this level of this EMIS system that we currently have. It While there's still somewhere to go where it comes to the technological infrastructure, we would have made significant progress where that's concerned over the years. So we're now able in a better position to roll this new EMIS system out. Also, as it relates to our resources, such as our textbooks and even the teachers, the ministry found that we needed improvement in the distribution of these resources and definitely need data to inform those distribution decisions. And also, the ministry saw the need to have a system where data collection and reporting is standardized to negate complications of compiling national statistics. So I would say from those challenges that we have, to sum up our motivation to deriving from those challenges would definitely be the need for reliable data to craft policies that address specific needs of the education sector, using data to allocate resources more efficiently and equitably across the schools and regions in Guyana, and the desire to track student performance and outcomes to identify areas needing intervention in Guyana. Thank you.
Wow, it's fascinating to hear how all started and how it's been evolving. And talking about system evolution, Davis, how have the objectives of the EMIS in Guyana evolved since the inception? What have been the most significant achievements, challenges that you've been facing in the system?
Thank you for that question, Rosa. So EMIS was first implemented in Guyana in 2018 as a pilot, with the objective then was just to digitize the annual school census, which was being done paper-based at that time. However, we then had the COVID-19 pandemic, and that shifted our focus because the pandemic exposed existing data gaps in the systems we were utilizing then, and also provided opportunities and highlighted new ways in which we could leverage technology in our education system. So currently, the objective of EMIS, as articulated in the 2021 EMIS policy, it is to develop an integrated, accessible, and responsive system that can inform education decision making at all levels and foster accountability, which therefore would lead to educational improvements. Now, to move to the notable achievements, it is definitely being able to transition the sector from just a fragmented EMIS survey component, which facilitates online data gathering and is then uploaded to the main server when there is internet connection, to being able to implement EMIS Core. EMIS Core provides real-time personalized information for both students and teachers. It also captures modules on school level management, human resource modules. So basically, our greatest achievement is moving from fragmented system to being able to implement EMIS Core as a whole. Despite this great achievement, however, we still have significant challenges, as the CPO mentioned, technological infrastructure. About approximately 50% of our schools still do not have reliable internet connection, and this can therefore obstruct the efficient use of EMIS Core. We still struggle with device availability to allow each classroom to have a device. And finally, we still have some school leaders who are not technology proficient, and therefore this can affect the implementation of EMIS. Thank you.
Thank you, Davis. It's great to hear all that integration that you've been going through. And we also know that Guyana has made great advances in implementing the EMIS, and you have long, interesting journey from traditional processes to digital platforms. And in that regard, what technologies are currently used in Guyana's EMIS, and what are the most important technical challenges that you've been facing?
Right. So as it is, we are currently utilizing EMIS Core. I mentioned that this platform provides real-time personalized information for both students and teachers. We're also using cloud computing where we're storing all of our valuable information and personal information for users of the system. We're also leveraging mobile technology. Schools in the hinterland, they can access the EMIS on their mobile phones, and there's also mobile applications that allow them to enter their information, which is then uploaded to the main server. And finally, given with any EMIS, internet connectivity. In order for an EMIS to perform efficiently, there is a need for good, stable internet connection to facilitate real-time data entry and monitoring. Despite our progress with the EMIS and the adoption of these technologies, we are still encountering issues as it relates to inadequate technological infrastructure. I would have mentioned earlier, our rural areas still do not have reliable internet access. I would have also touched on the availability of devices for each school. I also mentioned about leaders not being technology proficient. And finally, we also struggle with maintenance and support as well as system integration. And that is in order to have an EMIS in the actual sense, we would need to have our systems speaking to each other. And so we are still in that process of engaging CSF to have all our systems speaking and working efficiently. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for all that, Davis. And we know that technology is only one part of the success. People are also key in this whole process. So change actually must start from there. And regarding that, we know that you have been conducting training sessions in the region to familiarize schools with the new system. And it would be ideal if you can tell us a little bit more about that. And how is Davis? How is that data culture being promoted among educational actors in Guyana, such as teachers, principal, parents, even the ministry officials? What kind of training is provided to the EMIS users and administrators so they can go by?
Thank you. So just to echo what CPO mentioned, in the initial stages before we implemented the email system, there was generally a lack of data culture, and that may would have been because the system could not sufficiently provide the data needed at that time. But leaders and actors in education are advised, or we are promoting our data culture rather through advocacy and training. One notable example would be our GradeMaker analytics system, which is providing school level analysis on our national assessments, such as the NGSA and our CSEC assessments. The analytics software provides analysis on individual student outcomes as well as how they would have performed on topics and critical areas that schools can leverage this information to prepare their remediation programs. And also, the EMIS in itself, Rosa, also promotes a data driven culture in the sense that it provides the information very easily and easy to use and read. So, we're really hoping that by using a more robust system as the EMIS, this can also help with to improve our data culture as it relates to training for EMIS. In the initial stages, teachers and head teachers are being provided with initial and continuous training to ensure that they are adequately and efficiently supported in their use of the EMIS. For key stakeholders in the ministry and key players, that is, we were provided with a administrator EMIS training so that we would be able to respond to the many issues school would raise and have those issues resolved quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. It's great how you've been involving everyone in this process. And looking at the future, Tonnica, what upcoming developments and innovations are planned for the EMIS in Guyana? Can you tell us?
Yes, certainly, Rosa. I'm excited about those plans in the future for our EMIS in Guyana. We've started conversations, of course, about strengthening our team that's working on EMIS. Like you mentioned before, Dahvis started the rollout of this process with not so many hands to support. So we're definitely looking at strengthening the team that's working on the rollout of this EMIS and also sensitizing all our districts and regions to develop that data culture, as we can know the importance of data in education in our context. Apart from the administrative developments for our EMIS modules per se, we're also looking to include the report card module. The introduction of the report card module will standardize the reporting of grades across the country. This will ensure consistency and accuracy in the student performance records. That will also facilitate a better tracking and comparison of our academic achievements countrywide. We're also further developing our dashboard of our EMIS to reflect early warning signs, because it's important to have our children in school and keep them in school and to be able to avoid them dropping out at any stage. So that new dashboard will be developed to highlight early warning signs, allowing educators and administrators to identify students at risk of falling behind and to intervene promptly. Another aspect of the dashboard that we also will be developing is the dashboard that will reflect the frequency of the usage of EMIS, providing insights into how effectively the system is being utilized and identifying areas for further training or improvement. Um, Lastly, we've also been exploring the integration of a learning management system, a LMS, with our EMIS. The possibility of linking a learning management system to our EMIS um, we're hoping that it would integrate or streamline the management of our educational content, assignments and assessments, and creating a more cohesive and efficient educational environment. So all these upcoming developments and innovation are expected to significantly enhance the functionality and the impact of EMIS in Guyana, supporting better educational management, more effective interventions, and improved student outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Tonica. We certainly wish you good luck in all these upcoming developments, for sure. And to close, and given the extensive experience that you have implementing this information system, it would be beneficial to our audience if you can give any recommendations for this process. So, Davis, what recommendation would you offer to a country that is considering implementing a similar education information system?
Thank you, Rosa. As a member of the KIX community, I'm most happy to share my recommendations. So I would say to any country, in addition to having your supporting policies, internet access devices, and doing thorough training, there is a need to have an EMIS champion. The EMIS champion would be someone who sits at the highest level that can effect changes that will result in a smooth implementation of the EMIS system in Guyana here, even though we would have and we still have our issues with internet access and devices for schools, we were certainly happy and certainly happy that we have EMIS champions. We have champions in the form of our Minister of Education. We have champions in the form of our past and present CPO who were able to just streamline and push the implementation of EMIS. So my advice to any country would be to have an EMIS champion. In addition to having an EMIS champion, there is a need for constant monitoring and feedback, as well as CPO mentioned advancement. You need to communicate with your end users, whether it be at the school level or at the regional level at your offices, to hear from them if the EMIS is providing the information and the data sets that they would need to perform their task efficiently. So in summary, my advice would be to have your policies, have your internet, have your devices, constant feedback and advancement, but most importantly, there is a need for an EMIS champion, someone who can effect changes and guide the implementation of EMIS through every step. Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you, Dahvis, for that. Remember, an EMIS champion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, and again, thanks, Tonica and David. It's been a real pleasure to hear from you today, and we're really looking forward to see you again. And we also would like to give a special thank you to the organizing team, including GPE, the IDRC, the OECS, and the SUMA team, and all the invaluable contributions to this initiative. We invite our audience to stay in touch with us through our social media, Alt KIXLAC, to stay updated in the upcoming events and activities. Thank you once again, and until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you. Until next time. Bye bye.